Hey there, today I'm going to be looking at the HVAC box in a DeLorean. This is hopefully going to be helpful for people like me or other people who are working on the DeLorean so they know what's going on in the box, just to kind of give them a general overview. Before we get started on the main HVAC box, the first thing I want to talk about is this. So just like all of the other components on here, this is vacuum actuated, and it has a little vacuum actuator valve here. And so when this is told to do so by the HVAC system, this box opens up, this little flap door. And this is pretty much how all of these little flaps work, is that they just have a little bladder system here, and then it opens up. And they are spring-loaded, so you open it and they will close shut when the vacuum is no longer being applied. This particular door is for the recirculation system. In the passenger footwell, there's an area that this goes onto. It's actually directly above the blower motor, and the air that is coming through here can either be directed, if it's open, it will be in recirculation mode, so the air comes in here and then down into the blower, or if it's closed, it will come from behind it, which actually routes up near the windshield wipers. Moving on to the other two halves, this unit normally when it's installed is all one unit, but it is easier to remove as two, or at least according to some people. On the sides here, you can see that there are some screws that go in here. Also, this one is in very terrible condition, so yeah, they don't normally look like this, but that's why I'm okay with ripping it apart too. So yeah, you can see that, you can kind of see the coil inside of there. And then here's the other box. See in there. So let me first go over this side of the HVAC unit. On the right side, you can see that there is the blower fan, the blower motor, and the cage, as it's called. This is the actual fan blades. And the way this is set up is that air will be sucked into here and then spun out. And in this case, because it's all enclosed, it forces the air this way. And so I've got this removed here. So you can look down inside. So yeah, the air from the spinning fan will get pushed through this. And this unit here is the AC evaporator. So during air conditioning, this coil gets very cold. So I'm not going to go over how an AC system works, but just know that this is connected to the rest of your AC system using these two lines here, and this gets cold. So when this is activated and you're in AC mode, cold air is coming out of here. You can also see on the bottom, this little hole. So this is the drain line. When this unit is cold, air will condense onto it, and it will, turn to water, and that water will drip off and go down into this vent, and then it actually spits it out pretty much right where the fuel pump is, which is great. Again, also you can see here now, this was a repair by a previous owner. Yeah. If you look down here, you also have this. I believe this is a resistor network for the blower motor, but I'm not entirely sure. It is not relevant to what I'm doing with it. You can also tell, looking in here, it's very dirty. Then moving on to the other side of the system. So you can see in here, if you look down, you'll see that there's another radiator looking thing. This one is your heater core. These two lines here connect to your water pump, and they pump hot coolant through these tubes which then makes this hot, so long as it is instructed to do so from the engine. So this gets hot, and you remember from this side, and normally this is completely blocked off here. If you look at the other side of the blower, this is all a solid piece here, so this gets completely covered up. And the air is being blown in this direction from the other half. Now the first item, the first little flap door that the air is going to be in contact with is this one here. And unlike all of the other doors, which are operated like this guy here, this is operated with a vacuum and it has a spring on it. This one is connected to this. And this is connected to the knob on the HVAC panel. And so you can just directly use this. So as you twist this, it causes this flap door to open and close. So that's how that works. And what this flap does is it directs the air either over through So this then directs the air either over through your heater core or this direction, which bypasses it entirely. So this box here is the air distribution chamber. So this takes the air that has been heated or cooled as necessary and then sends it to the different areas of the vehicle. So these send it to the right side, this sends it to the left side, and this sends it up to the front of the vehicle in the center console. And then in the back here, this sends it to the defrost. And so this piece actually goes right up to the underside of the dash and then blows hopefully warm air out over those vents. However, on this, there is an actuator right here. So normally this is plugged into one of the vacuum lines. And so as this actuates, it opens and closes this little flapper door back here, which then either directs air to come out these front vents or not. Now looking behind here, you can see these two doors. And so each one of these little flapper doors is connected by these actuators, vacuum actuators on the side. And so each one of these controls a little linkage, which then opens. They're supposed to be sprung back, but not all the time. Let me... So I'll show you in the vehicle where this piece connects. So this is for the defrost. And then from this direction, I think you can see better that there's this additional flap here. And this flap here changes whether or not air is coming out this side of the defrost vent. So you actually get a little bit of air coming out either way because this little piece is mixing it. And you can tell there's really not like a seal on here. Like that's just a big gap that's open. But this makes it so either more or less air comes in there. And this is actuated by this little guy right here. Now one thing I have not talked about yet is this little thing here. This actually connects onto the back of the HVAC controls, and there's a little dial there for the modes. And it has a maze of vacuum channels in it. So as you turn it, it sends vacuum to these different locations. I'm not going to cover how that system actually works. There is a diagram and a description in the workshop manual for the DeLorean, but again, for me, that's not super necessary. So now that that's all taken care of, let's go over the final operation, looking at everything in the big picture. So yeah, the first thing is that you have air coming in through your vent, and you can have this guy, and it will sit about right here. You can either have it in this mode, so air is coming in from the outside air, or you can open this up, which then blocks off most of that air, and this turns it into recirculation mode. So the air comes in this vent down into your blower. So then your air is coming into the blower motor, being spun around and flung out this way, where it comes through your evaporator that will potentially make it very cold. That air is then pushed this direction into this chamber. So now all of that air is getting pushed out of this side and into this area. And then depending on the position of this knob here on the dash, it will either direct that air back this direction and then through your heater core where it will potentially be warmed up, or it will just go straight forward into like this main chamber back here. And then from this main chamber, depending on the positions of these two actuators, that air can be pushed through the front air distribution area where it will come out the front vents or the side vents here, or sent up to the defroster. Or if these aren't open and this is open, this will send all of that air up and out through your defrost. I forgot to mention that there is one additional vent on the bottom side of the HVAC box, and it sends air to the driver side and passenger side footwells. So if these two are closed and this one here is in the down position, it means that all of that air is being directed up into this, which goes into your vents for defrost under the windshield, your windshield vents right here. I hope that this has given you a basic understanding of how airflow moves through the HVAC system in a DeLorean. Thank you for watching, and if you want to see more stuff like this, like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff. Thanks a lot. Bye.